Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Bluebird Leader's YouTube channel. Today, we're super excited to host our two new board members, Miss Sarah and Mr. Dave. Welcome, both of you, and thank you. I'm so honored to have you on our board.
Thank you. Likewise, being part of Bluebird is a new endeavor that is already just paying in dividends of connections and purpose.
Awesome.
I am very excited about this because I believe at the end of the day, it's about connections as well. And then in addition to that, I also think it's also about furthering, future leaders in this healthcare industry, which I think is very, very important, to our constituents. So very
We
excited.
love our male allies, Dave, so thank you. We do have another male on our board as well, so we like the diversity. Sarah, do you want to start out and tell the audience a little bit about how you even got into healthcare IT, and brought you on your journey and where you are today?
Absolutely. Thanks for the question because I started out in hospitality. I went to UNLV. I opened 4 casinos, went to an airline. When the airline went bankrupt, I was in grad school at the same time. And one of my study group members was friends with the CIO at the county hospital, which is UMC, which is the primary trauma one academic medical center in Las Vegas. So I joined that team for 5 years and went to HCA and Optum and others after that. But that foray into healthcare was something that was so meaningful and so purposeful to me that I absolutely decided that not only would I stay in healthcare, but I take all the learnings from a hospitality aspect of it and apply that to the patient journey and to what our caregivers experience every single day. Because really, you think about you want hospitality in times of greatest need. So if you're on vacation, you want a great vacation. Well, here's the deal. If you're not feeling well, you're actually most vulnerable. So if we can provide amazing experiences for you in an area where you feel like someone else has your back and is looking out for you, technology can bring a lot of those things to the table with the right conversations with humans. So I've always been that bridge in between the two, which is why after 24, almost 25 years, I have stayed in healthcare IT.
And how did you get started being CIO? A lot of people ask, right? So you started in hospitality. My minor was actually global tourism, so we can
There we go.
uh, but how did you go from that and just set your eyes on CIO and move up to that role?
Primarily because to be a successful CIO, you really have to understand the business. And I came up with that operations perspective. So I've always understood how the business worked, and I've always understood how technology can be a differentiator and an enabler. And as a CIO, you get to bring those two pieces together. So I got to play with all the amazing tech, but I also got to have all the incredible conversations across the continuum. So to me, it was a natural fit. And I set my sights on it. And so letting my mentors, letting my friends, letting my bosses know, like, hey, I want to become a CIO someday. My first opportunity to do that was in Kansas City for the Mid-America division for HCA. And I'd spent the 3 years prior to that really serving the CIO community, helping them build out the time of support model. And so being able to work for HCA, which was an incredible 10 years of my life, but having bosses like Marty Pazik and Lee Adams who were like, this is what she wants to do. I'll be honest, I had to take a job in Kansas City, Missouri, which for a woman from California who'd been relocated from Vegas out to Nashville, now to Kansas City, I had never been there before. I was like, it's cold, it's flat, there's, tornadoes. I was like freaking out, and they're like, you'll be fine. So I took a geography that I didn't believe that I would want. And it became honestly probably the best 4.5 years of my career. I had such an incredible run there. So differentiator specifically has been taking opportunities or roles that maybe others didn't necessarily want right away and turning them into something extraordinary and then creating a demand for that succession and that pipeline, which is why Bluebird is so perfectly aligned with that mission, vision, values is like, how do you elevate and uplift and amplify the people around you? That's your responsibility as a leader, as a CIO or one who can influence CIOs. It's exactly how you get an opportunity to do that all the time.
Yes, I love it. Thank you so much. Dave, how about you? You live just a stone's throw away, but not today. Today you're in Vegas. So how did you get involved with healthcare IT, and what has your journey been?
Wow, that's a great question on a Monday morning here in Las Vegas. So I've been in healthcare for a long time. I won't say how long because that might be my HR moment, but I started off my healthcare in Boston, Massachusetts, worked for a company called National Medical Care. They became Fresenius Medical Care. So I started my career in renal dialysis. And then I moved from finance into running multiple dialysis clinics. I was the youngest one to do that in the greater Boston area. So I was really excited about that. Learned a ton, made a ton of mistakes, had a fantastic mentor who really helped me along, learning both things from a patient perspective, clinical perspective, and operational perspective. He was a physician, one of the leading nephrologists in the greater Boston area, and then decided to get into the multi-specialty area. So did that for a little bit in Massachusetts. And then I am a native Vermonter, good, bad, or indifferent. Yes, I do know how to ski, and worked for the Fletcher Allen for a while. And then I got recruited by Baxter Healthcare to start up their work in their marketing and start up their thought leadership program. And so big change, moving out to the Midwest. So as Sarah mentioned earlier, I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing out here in the Midwest? People were friendly, fantastic experience. I got to do many different things, working with sales, working with providers, working with a medical device company, and how everything connects together. And at the end of the day, it's really connecting all those things together. I had a great marketing leader, Lisa Colleran, who was just absolutely a fantastic human being and just really probably the best marketing person I've ever met in my career. Really kind of took me under my wing, took her under her wing, and shepherded me along. And then having a couple of kids, decided to move back to the East Coast. That's how I ended up being a stone's throw from you, Rebecca. And then did a startup, which was interesting. That was my first venture into PE venture capital. And then made the transition into healthcare IT about 20 years ago. And so I've loved it ever since. And I did many different roles, from implementations to professional services to advisory services. And have always had a great network of friends and colleagues to help support me along the way. And I believe life is kind of like a roller coaster. There's ups and downs, twists and turns, and it's the ride that makes it all worthwhile. And if you play hockey, I'm a big hockey fan, you always want to go to where the puck's going, not to where it's been. And so the ability to, I think, sometimes taking moves that are lateral or sometimes going back, sort of like if sometimes in order to score a goal, since we have the big championship game tonight, sometimes you have to pass the puck backwards in order to score. So yeah, I've been very excited. I've had a great ride, met some wonderful people. And at the end of the day, it's really about taking care of patients. So personally, people may not know this, my cousin was a dialysis patient. That's kind of how I got into dialysis. And I had the opportunity to work with her physician at Phoenix Children's to help set up a kids program, which is probably one of the most important accomplishments that I had. That was a long time ago. And so the ability to give back to not only your loved ones, but also to other people is really why I've been in this space for a long time.
Yeah. And that's really why I established Bluebird Leaders. It was sort of my calling or my time to give back to the community with all of the knowledge that I've gained over the years. And so now we just hit our 2-year mark, and we're about to have our third annual conference, and also kick off, I don't know what cohort we're on now, maybe 5 or 6 for our mentor mentee program. So super excited for all of that to come. Sarah, what is the most important reason as to why you accepted the board invitation when I reached out to you?
So when you and I met, and I always joke about, feels like a long time ago, maybe 1.5 years, 2 years, I was like, here is a woman who is doing exactly what she said she's going to do, that she wants to do. There's a lot of great ideas out there, but a great idea without action, without intentionality, and without something tangible to put it up against is a conversation. You put something out there and said, I'm building it, and people will literally be drawn to it. And so I kept hearing about it. I'm like, I want to be a part of that. And I need to know Rebecca. And how do I get to know her? And how do I meet her? And so we connected at some of the different conferences. And then it was like this ability to build a community bigger than ourselves. So when I knew I was coming to This Week Health, you had been talking to Bill in the past. I was obviously talking to Bill for years about it. And when I came on board, I'm like, let's make Bluebird a thing together. And so we worked through the details to do that. And here we have a partnership that's going to bring all these new opportunities to especially women. Now, we always will be inclusive and invite men to the board and invite men to the events. I wish someone in my 20s had taken me under their wing in the ways that it was important to become a female leader, to be good at home and to be good at work. I knew how to be great at work, and a lot of my personal relationships probably failed. and weren't as successful as they could have been. Myriad reasons for those things, but there's just pieces that you always wish someone had told you these things in these moments. And I get to tell younger women and younger executives that now, and continue learning from my mentors and my friends. I mean, heck, Dave right here on the screen, I was his client almost 10 years ago, became a friend and a mentor, and here we are all together bringing, 1 + 1 + 1 = 10 in some cases. That ability to just bring great people together to solve real problems and help people truly thrive in their careers. Because ever since the pandemic and maybe before then, there is no differentiation between your career and your personal life. I'm sorry, there's just like, there's none. And how do you help people successfully navigate that without feeling overwhelmed all the time? That's a mission for me in the last 10 years-ish that I want to provide to corporate America.
Yeah, for me, it's the mentorship. And also, I see so many women out there with either higher aspirations or different roles. So I always love asking people when I interview them what they really want to be when they grow up, and then helping them get there and giving them the confidence to be able to do that. And sometimes it's a swift kick in the ass, and sometimes, um, sometimes it's just a little push, and you just got to hold their hand to help them jump down. And so that's, really what I love doing and passionate for. And Dave has been there for my swift kick in the what to me, and pushing me in all sorts of directions. So Dave, can you speak to just the mentorship that you give to so many people, and
Well, I'm
how?
probably going to change it up a little bit. I'm going to talk why I'm so excited about Bluebird Leader.
Okay, but then the mentorship. Okay, good.
It's all good. So I have two daughters. One is 26, soon to be 27, and I have one who's 23. And so to have something like this for women specifically to help grow them, especially people that are young in their career, and see them thrive and have a supportive network is huge. So it's personal to me. That's why I'm excited about it. So I look at my youngest one, my baby, Anna, who is in Idaho as we speak and traveling all over the place and just doing an amazing thing. She's employee number 8 in a 12-person company. She is the only female in the company, and she is thriving. And so when she heard about this, she was so excited about it because she likes to have that network, that support. She's learning a ton. She just got her FAA license to fly drones. So she's working with ranchers and everything else in very male-dominated fields. And to have, to watch her thrive and kind of navigate and ask and stuff like that. And so this is why it's important, I think, to have Bluebirds, and why I'm excited to personally be a part of it, because I look at my own kids and I want them to have, what this organization is providing. So that's on the personal level. I love seeing people thrive. At the end of the day, it's about the team and how people succeed and watching them do their best. And I get a ton of fulfillment out of it. It's kind of like coaching, right? So it's like you see them win, see them flourish, and everyone has their role. And to see the team win, I think it's fantastic. And so I love doing it. It's kind of my way of giving back, not only to the community, but I, personally and selfishly, I get a ton out of it too. I learned so much. I meet great people. I mean, Sarah and I met 10 years ago. I consider her one of my closest friends. She's lovely, just a fantastic human being. Rebecca, I got to meet you. You kind of reached out about 2 years ago randomly, just said, hey, you live in New Hampshire. We should have lunch sometime. And I think I blew it. The restaurant that we were supposed to go to was closed, and then but then we figured it out. And I remember your comment. I actually wrote it down. You're like, this was a natural conversation. And it's like, well, that's kind of the way it should be, right? So it was a very nice, free-flowing conversation. So I think at the end of the day, it's about connecting people. I think the strength of the ecosystem is stronger than the individual. So I'm very excited about it. So
love it. I love it. Well, we're so excited to have both of you on the board. I end all my talks asking one question. And so, Dave, I'll pick on you first. I want to know your superpower that you give back to the world.
My superpower. I think my
Now
superpower
Sarah
is
has more time to think about it.
no, it's all good. I think my superpower is taking things that are complex and breaking it down into small, digestible chunks. I think at the end of the day, taking really complex information and making it digestible is my secret superpower.
Awesome. And Sarah?
I like to instill a sense of belief in people that they can do whatever they set their mind to. So I like to connect people and then show them how they can get what they want in their lives.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, both of you. And I cannot wait to see you both in person, maybe before, but definitely at SOAR, which is September 18th through 20th in Atlanta, Georgia. Grab your limited ticket today.
Thanks, Rebecca. Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.